I was a little bit nervous because I didn't really know that much about it. And he hadn't posted it. It just sort of came to me and I jumped at it. And it was probably one of the best decisions I've ever made. I've always been a people watcher and interested in people, and that just gives you a little bit more insight in terms of dealing with people and understanding people as well. And I said to the person that was leaving the position, how do I learn all this? There's so much to learn. He said, Diane, it's simple. Learn some buzzwords. Keep using those until you learn the rest. They'll think you know something, and by the time they find out, you will. So that's what I did. And I remember driving just on the QE here, coming over the bridge, and I'd say, Father, I thank you that I'm a successful businesswoman, wealthy in my own right. That was my little prayer. I'd go out on sales calls and come back. Shortly thereafter, it was interesting, I was downtown at head office, and I had the luxury of actually traveling across North America, going to offices and corporations and doing training, and that was great. And someone in training development said to me, you know what, Diane, maybe you should become a consultant. We'll hire you back to do some of our work, you'll get more money, and you'll have your own business. And I thought, okay, that sounds great. And so my company, Ready, Set, Go Performance Inc. Was born. And 3 years later, they were doing some restructuring within this recruitment firm and wanted me to come back inside. And I think it was just too late for me. I was on another path, and it would be hard to go back inside. But what happened was I stepped out and I was doing some consulting work, and then what happened, I had some health issues that really took me for a loop and really caused me, I won't say to lose 2 years of my life, but it was a different life. I had just run out of steam, I had run out of energy. I'm a type A personality, I'm either doing something or sleeping. So what happened was, you know, if you're varnishing a floor, you varnish your way out. A set of circumstances varnished me in, and where I found myself is in my home office, surrounded by my books, and I got really serious with God. Because I said, I don't think I've begun to do what you wanted me to do, and here I am, I can't do anything. I literally was sleeping or in my office trying to do something. And it was a pretty long road. But again, David Sweet, that I told you, our sales manager and the MP now, he said, you know what, Diane, I have this woman I think would be good for you to meet. Her name is Margaret Gibb. She's president of Women Alive, and I think you two would hit it off. Now, you can imagine at that point, you know, we confuse our who with our do when we should be more interested in our who we are, instead of what we're doing. And we should get satisfaction from who we are and our gifts instead of a title or a business card. I've known people that have lost it all, and then they don't know who they are. So I did go, and I summoned up the courage, I guess, to go and meet with her. And meeting with her, we hit it off, and she said, Diane, would you like to be a part of a selection committee for leading women, where they recognize women, they honor them from across Canada for their roles in business and arts, etc. And I remember walking into that boardroom, and this is a boardroom filled with high-powered women. And of course now they're going around the table asking everybody, so what are you up to? And I'm thinking, dear God, what am I going to say? I know what I've done in my life, but really for the last few years, not so much. So I listened to all this stuff. And so I thought the only thing I could do as a salesperson is talk about what I have done, forget the little 2-year gap, and then I started to say, you know what, it's a strange thing. I find myself in a place I've never been. It's the wilderness. I have no idea. I feel like I'm on the backside of the mountain. And the whole room went, wow, that's great. And I'm thinking, are these people nuts? Are they crazy? Why would they be telling me it's great? Obviously, they've never been there, and they're just trying to be polite, because I'm new. I didn't know. But I have understood in the last 2 years what the wilderness means. And they said to me, they said, Diane, God must be getting ready to use you for something. And you know, sometimes when you are a strong personality, you sort of have to get within yourself and find out who you are, what you're made of, and go forward. And I began to get my strength back, and I started to think what was important to me. And it was about personal achievement. Not being better than everyone else, not trying to be someone else, but being what you were created to be and to do. So I did some research. There's approximately 6 billion people on the planet. Approximately 11 million are officially incarcerated. then I got thinking about the rest of us. Are we walking out what we're supposed to be doing? Are we shooting for the moon? Are we looking at the gifts that we've been given? Do we know what the gifts are? And hence I came up with this chapter from my book called Self-Catraz, Escaping Your Personal Prison. And that's at the same time as I was fooling around with these numbers, my husband John came to me and he said, Diane, you know what? I've been getting these emails from this marketing guru in California for 5 years. I've never figured out why I've been saving them. But every time she sends one, I put it in a folder. But this one I think you ought to look at. They're looking for people to do some submissions for an anthology they're putting together of 42 business people and what their strengths and weaknesses in different businesses, what worked and what didn't work. So he said, maybe you should write something. And I'm thinking, what could I possibly write? That's when Self-Catraz, Escaping Your Personal Prison came. But just to show you my frame of mind at that time, here's a poem that I wrote. So it's amazing what you can do if it's like a boxing match. You get knocked down, you just keep getting up. You may just go a few more steps and get knocked down again. But here's my frame of mind just before I wrote this chapter. I'm reduced to a number. My home is made of stone and steel. I stand alone in my misery, alone. My heart aches, alone. No choices to make. Afraid of what might be, afraid what will happen to me. Dreams vanquished, plans undone. My heart's song left unsung. Prison, what it's done to me. That was my frame of mind. And that's... that's why I think we need to get up every day and enjoy our ability to be able to do what we do. So many times people say, oh, I've got to go to work and I've got to put in another day. I now understand what it feels like not to put in another day. And you do that for a little while, you sure do appreciate it. But I'm telling you that because that was my frame of mind. And then I realized you have to count the costs. First of all, you have a choice. You can live your life with passion and purpose, or number two, you can just simply exist. And it's never too late. There's always new things to do. I love what Walt Disney said. He said, I always like to look on the optimistic side of life, but I'm realistic enough to know that life is a complex matter. And the longer I live, the longer I understand how complex it can be. I'm going to share with you today just a few things about planning a jailbreak, and I brought everyone a copy. It's a good thing I'm not talking in prison. I brought everyone a copy. I just wanted to give everyone a copy because, there's interesting things in here. There's people's lives, there's business stories, and obviously my chapter's in there. But I'll just go over some of the highlights. First of all, you have to locate yourself. Before you step into anything, you have to locate yourself. You have to ask yourself some serious questions. Number one, do I find myself jealous of others when they are successful? Do I wish I were somewhere else or someone else? Do I feel that I don't make a difference in the lives of people around me? Do I feel like there should be more to life? Do I have trouble getting out of bed each day? And then the next step is, if you're tired of looking at your cell, then you need to break out. So number one is, take an inventory of what landed you there. Interestingly enough, when I talk to people, a lot of people blame their parents. I know it's a cliche now. I know things happen to people, and maybe we all don't get raised up in the perfect Leave It to Beaver home. But if you stay there, you will never move forward. You'll never do what you're here to do. And no matter what it looks like, nobody has a perfect life. I used to say to my husband, wow, they look like they have the perfect life. I wish I had that life. He goes, Diane, everybody's dealing with something. We put on masks and we go out to work, which we should. We shouldn't be carrying our baggage into work, particularly if you're a receptionist and customers are coming in. It's not a good to show your true feelings. And the other thing is, you just have to suck it up. Sometimes you just have to suck it up. Louis Bujold said, since no one is perfect, it follows that all great deeds have been accomplished out of imperfection, yet they were accomplished somehow all the same. We think we have to be perfect. It's like, when I gave my heart to Christ, you think you have to fix everything before you go there. And that's not the case. You don't have to be perfect. That's the beauty and the charm of it. And also, in order to step out in a new business plan or a new venture, or in life, you really need to